I wanted to start my nutrition video by giving my own personal experience with a good nutrition and a healthy diet, because one of my favorite quotations in the whole world is that facts don't change people, stories do. And I highly believe that. You can sit and spout facts all you want, but but I feel like personal experience has a much greater weight on the human psyche than just listening to endless information. I'm not someone who's always had good nutrition and good habits. In fact, I used to have probably the absolute worst eating habits and the worst diet in the entire world. And it's taken me a long time to kind of rearrange how I think about food and just to rearrange my diet and what I reach for and what I do eat. So I'm going to start by talking about what I used to eat and what my habits used to be. And I'm not exaggerating, it was really that bad. I worked in the mall in retail management, and so they would give free refills to mall employees on soda, so I probably would have 2 to 3 20-ounce sodas a day, and not diet either, regular soda. And fast food habit, I was a fast food junkie. I ate fast food probably at least 5 times a week, at least once a day, if not more. Yes, it's that bad. And the rest of what I ate mostly was convenience food or prepackaged food at home. My husband has always had a pretty healthy diet and has always done pretty well with food, but he also worked full-time and wasn't there a lot, so when I cooked for myself, it was typically convenience food. And the reason that I decided to change my diet, well, there's 2 reasons actually. The first reason is my mom had a very serious heart attack a few years ago and ended up having a triple bypass and a valve replacement. And that scared the crap out of me. I hate doctors, I hate hospitals, I don't like any of that, and that was enough to wake me up and realize that I really need to be taking care of myself, going beyond just basic nutrition, and I also need to be active and live a lifestyle to where I'm getting cardio exercise and I'm really taking care of myself in that way too. But what spurred the dietary changes was a book that my husband had picked up. My husband's always been interested in food politics, so he picked up a book called Death by Supermarket. Now, off the top of my head, I don't remember the author, but pretty much this whole book was about how America is becoming malnutritioned because of the amount of fast food and convenience food that we eat. She goes into the evils of MSG and food additives and different things that just aren't safe at all and are not good for you at all, that we all consume, well, not all, but most of us consume on a daily basis. And I remember sitting in our living room reading this book, petrified, and coming to that absolute realization that this is why I'm tired all the time. This is why I don't feel good every day. This is why I have no energy and I'm depressed and everything else. What if this is all food related? So that was my wake-up call. And the first thing that changed for me after reading that book was cutting out fast food. So hard for me. I really liked fast food. Now even the smell of it, and I'm like, oh. But at that point, it was what I ate. That was my diet. So that was one of the first things that got cut out. And also I wasn't drinking any water at this point. It was coffee and soda. So I also started to drink water. And I limited my soda at that point to 1 a day. I didn't completely cut it out yet because I was so dependent on the caffeine and the sugar. I got sick when I tried. So I was still having 1 soda a day. And we also started to cut out the convenience food. I didn't start with a lot of physical exercise. I was probably about between 40 and 45 pounds heavier than I am right now when I started my dietary changes. And these are my dogs. This is Mario and Byron. The long-haired chihuahuas, and they're super sweet. Very clingy sometimes, though. I started walking. I walked to the bus stop when it was cold, which is maybe a half mile less, a little less than a half mile away. And then after that, once the weather got warmer, I actually started walking to work, and that was my physical activity. And we were from Bozeman, Montana. That's where we were living at that time. And the great thing about Bozeman is, unlike where we are now and where we'll probably be moving to, you could walk to work. You could pretty much walk anywhere in town. It was fantastic. It was a 3.5 mile walk to the mall for me, and then a 3.5 mile walk home, obviously, which altogether, that's not that bad. And it was a fantastic way to work back into physical activity after being sedentary for so long. And that's where it started. And honestly, for me, half of my weight, half of that 40 pounds, pretty much came off just with the walking and the dietary change. And then it was at the point that my mom had her heart attack that I started to add more strenuous activity, and that's when I started running.